What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Monday, April 7th. We're going to look at every MLB game tonight. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under. We're also going to take a peek at that NCAA Tournament Championship game. Make sure you're checking that pin comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday, not that great once again, guys. Got off to a hot start there. We had Chicago minus 9.5. That was a comfortable win and cover there for them against a tanking opponent. But we had the Thunder minus 8.5. They just get blown out of the gym by a barrage of threes there from the Lakers. The Lakers were making everything they threw up out there. So not a whole lot you can do about that. The Suns could not hold tough there against the Knicks, who eventually end up getting a 14-point win. We had the Denver Nuggets minus 5.5. They give up a late lead to eventually lose that game straight up. So unfortunately, looking for a bounce back here on the MLB side, slam that like button. It's free. It helps me a ton and shows your appreciation for all the free information we're giving out every single day. Think of it as tipping, but here it's absolutely free. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. That'll help to keep you from missing our daily videos. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. Quick reminder, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see our top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced expert cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily college basketball, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. And Major League Baseball, our most profitable sport the last 3 years in a row, is off to a fantastic start. Actually had a 3-0 day there. Our premium pick writer there, our premium capper for MLB, went 3-0. He had the Mets as a 3-unit play, the Royals as a 3-unit play, and he also had the San Francisco Giants. That one was a 4-unit play, and every single one of those cashed. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. At Stump the Spread, you'll have access to exclusive free picks, free to use bet size calculators, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not always match what you see here in the video. Also, guys, you need to get over there and sign up for our free email newsletter, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on our results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. If you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get exclusive early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen in every video. But more importantly, you'll get access to our monthly members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member here coming up on April 20th. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Yankees come into this game fresh off a 5-4 loss there against the Pirates. Tommy Pham actually having a walk-off single RBI there for the Pirates. So, yeah, tough stuff for the Yankees, but they are 6-3 on the season. They did win that series 2-1. They had a game, they scored 9 runs in the first game, 10 runs in the second game, and then the bats cooled off a little bit, scoring only 4 in the last game of that series. But overall, good stuff for the Yankees to start the year. Not a whole lot for them to complain about. They're handing the ball in this one to Carlos Rodon, who's going to be making his 3rd start of the season. He's coming off a very kind of up-and-down start, to be honest. He did last 6 innings there against the Arizona Diamondbacks, but he got knocked around a bit. Gave up 4 earned runs, including a home run, walked 4, and struck out 5. Definitely not as good as his opening opening season start there against the Milwaukee Brewers, where he was dominant. So we'll see if he can bounce back a little bit. Obviously not his best outing. Going up against the Tigers here, probably not that terrifying. We'll see what the Yankees bullpen can do, see if the bats can kind of reawaken. Although, scoring 4 runs in a game isn't the end of the world. Aaron Judge off to a great start. The Yankees are the top scoring team in the MLB right now. The Torpedo Bats, guys. Torpedo Bats go nuts. They're the 2nd batting average team in the MLB. They're the 1st in on base and 1st in slugging percentage as well. So absolutely cruising right now. They're taking on the Tigers, who are fresh off a 3-game sweep. It was against the Chicago White Sox, so let's not freak out too much. We saw Spencer Torkelson crank a 2-run walk-off double there for the Tigers in the last game of that series. So yeah, you needed a lot there to win that last game, but still, they do get the win. They're 5-4 to start the season. Riley Green's hitting the ball well, and they're handing the ball in this game to Casey Mize, who's off to an excellent start himself. 1-0 on the season, has not allowed an earned run yet. That was a start against Seattle Mariners, one of the teams we expect to be the worst offensive team in baseball, one of the worst. 5 2/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, struck out 6, but he did walk 3. So the control maybe a little bit concerning, but not too much. Liking what we're seeing from the Tigers right now, at least on the mound. The hitting numbers also are looking very respectable here in the early goings. A decent series against Seattle helps out a lot, and then a series there against the White Sox really helps. So we'll see what happens here with the Tigers, who are plus 120. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Yankees 2-1 on the road, 7-2 to the over. Detroit 3-0 at home and 6-3 to the over themselves. Am I going to take over in this game? I don't know. I don't know if I can really do that, guys. I would lean maybe a little bit towards the under. I haven't checked the weather reports for Detroit, but I expect it to be just a little bit chilly up there. So we'll see what happens in terms of the total. In terms of the side, I'm leaning towards the Tigers at plus 120. They're at home. They're playing okay. The Yankees, obviously, in a little bit of a bounce back spot offensively, but Mize has looked good out there. So give me a flyer here on the Detroit Tigers. Moving right along, we're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cardinals straight up not having a good time in that series at Fenway. They lost both sides of that doubleheader there on Sunday, and yeah, it was not a great look. They're now 4-5 on the season. That hot start, by sweeping the Twins is gone, far gone back there in the peripheral. So yeah, not looking so great for the Cardinals. They're hitting the ball in this one to Matthew Liberatore. He comes into this game making his second start of the year. And his first start against the Angels, he did go 6 innings, but they weren't that great of 6 innings. He struck out 4, but gave up 3 earned runs on 6 hits. So they're hoping he can improve on that a little bit. They're hoping that their offense can get back on track. They did score 7, 4, and 9 runs there against Boston, but the bullpen and the starters not able to keep them in these games. That's a pretty big concern for a team that's actually hitting the cover off the ball here in the early goings. They're 4th in runs scored and 1st in batting average. So we'll see if they can get that going here against the Pirates, who come into this game 3-7 on the season. They did just get that walk-off win against the Yankees. Thank you to ex-Cardinal Tommy Pham. They're hitting the ball in this one to Carmen Maldzinski. He comes into this game 0-1, a 9.82 ERA after getting slaughtered there by the Tampa Bay Rays. Not a great look. 3 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 4, walked 2. Yeah, obviously going up against the Cardinals is that going to be easier than going against the Rays? Kind of seems like no to me, so we'll see what they get out of their starter in this one. Not expecting miracles. This offense has not been on fire to start the year. They've been one of the worst 4 or 5 offenses in Major League Baseball this season. They're 27th in the MLB in runs scored. Nobody off to a particularly hot start, so things not looking great for the Pirates. That's why they're plus 105 in this game. We've got a total of 8.5. The Cardinals are minus 125. St. Louis is 0-3 on the road. They're 6-1-1 to the over. The Pirates 1-2 at home, 5-5 to the over/under. I think the Cardinals get it figured out in this one and get a win against the Pirates. Minus 125 feels like a little bit of a steep price here with Liberatore on the mound and not off to the best start, but this young guy has done some good stuff for the Cardinals. I expect him to get on track here, and I think St. Louis at minus 125 is a very reasonable play. Next on the docket, we're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Dodgers come into this game fresh off a loss there against the Phillies, and they actually managed to lose 2 out of 3 there in Philadelphia. So that probably doesn't feel great. Castellanos hitting that grand slam, a tough way to, end up eventually losing a game. So yeah, we'll see what the Dodgers can do to bounce back. They're 9-2 on the season, so I think they're going to be okay. They're handing the ball in this one to Dustin May, who comes into this game making his second start of the year. His first one, very reasonable there against the Atlanta Braves, guys. I mean, 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. It wasn't even earned. He walked 3 and struck out 6. Yeah, that'll definitely work. This 27-year-old monster out there on the mound, I'm expecting good stuff from him. And in general, I expect good things from the Dodgers pitching staff overall. The offense has been very good. Obviously, coming up with 7, 3, and 2 runs in their series against the Phillies isn't the norm. So I expect them to put up much better numbers here in this series. Obviously, Will Smith off to a great start. Tommy Edman off to a good start. Teoscar Hernandez off to a good start. 5th in the MLB in runs scored, 4th in slugging percentage. I think they're going to be okay out there going up against the Nationals, who are 3-6 on the season, fresh off of winning 2 out of 3 there against the Diamondbacks, though. Couple very close games there. Honestly, 3 very close games in that series. But the Nationals come out on top, 2-1. They'll definitely take it. They're hitting the ball to Mackenzie Gore in this game, who's off to a pretty decent start himself. This is going to be his 3rd start of the year. His first one, he was dominant there against the Phillies. Gave up only 1 hit, struck out 13 over 6 innings. Crazy work. Then he went to Toronto and had a little bit of a rougher time. Gave up 9 hits over 5 innings. Gave up 3 earned runs, struck out 5. Also gave a home run in that game. So maybe not as optimistic here about Mackenzie Gore. But we'll see. Dude is a good pitcher, no doubt about that. So we'll see what he can do, see what the Nationals bullpen can do in this one. The offense for them has been pretty pedestrian, honestly, 22nd in runs scored, 22nd in batting average. You're batting .216 as a team, not exactly hitting the cover off the ball. So that's why the Dodgers are minus 165. The Nationals are plus 140. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Dodgers 1-2 on the road, 6-5 to the over. Washington 3-3 at home, 5-4 to the under. I think this is a big bounce back spot here for the Dodgers. I'm not necessarily going to take them minus 1.5, although I wouldn't fault anybody that wanted to do that. But I think taking the Dodgers here at minus 165 is very reasonable. I don't think Mackenzie Gore is going to have another unhittable day. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Dustin May here in the early goings. Go ahead and give me the Dodgers here. This could definitely end up in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. Toronto comes in this game fresh off getting swept there against the Mets. That's a tough look. I mean, they lost 2-1, 3-2, and 5-0. So they scored a grand total of 3 runs over their last 3 games. That's got a sting. They're hitting the ball in this one to Easton Lucas, who's off to a great start, 1-0 thanks to a win there against the Washington Nationals. 5 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Very, very good stuff. This is a guy that would be very helpful if he had a nice season out there on the mound for Toronto. So we'll see what happens over the course of the season. We'll see how that bullpen looks in this one. But obviously, they got to come up with some offense. That's been the problem here, and it's been a big problem. They're 15th in the majors in runs scored, 7th in batting average, 8th in on-base percentage. But Yeah, guys, you scored 3 runs over your last 3 games. Gonna need to turn things around there a little bit. So we'll see if they can do that here against the Red Sox, who are 6-4, fresh off of that 3-game sweep of the Cardinals. Winning 2 games there on Sunday has to feel pretty good, but maybe a little bit tiring. We'll see, if there's any leftover effects from that. They're hitting the ball to one of my favorite pitchers in all of Major League Baseball, Richard Fitz. His name is Richard Fitz. Gotta love it. He got off to a not so great start to his season with a start against the Rangers. 6 innings, which is nice, but 5 hits, 3 runs. All 3 of them were earned. He had 2 home runs in the game and struck out 4. So gonna have to do a little bit better job of limiting that long ball there, Richard Fitz. But other than that, maybe he can have a decent outing in this one. The offense has been looking good. The bullpen, maybe not so hot, but the offense is definitely looking good. So we'll see what they can do here. The Red Sox are significant favorites. They're minus 140. The Blue Jays are plus 118. We've got a total out there of 9. Toronto 0-3 on the road, still looking for their first road win. They're 7-3 to the under. Boston 2-0, 3-0 actually at home, 5-3-1 to the under. Under 9, I think, is in play in this game theoretically. I would maybe think about the Red Sox, but I think they're going to be tired coming off of their first doubleheader of the season. I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays here, getting plus money. And with Easton Lucas on the mound looking for another good start, I think Toronto could definitely get their first road win of the season in this game. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Twins come into this game losers of 2 out of 3 in their series there against the Astros. They're only 3-6 on the season, and yeah, they got to play the Cardinals and the White Sox already. So yeah, you should probably have a little bit better of a record than that. It's not looking great though. They're hitting the ball in this one to Simeon Woods Richardson, who got off to a mediocre start to his season. I mean, you went 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the White Sox. I'm not about to alert the press. Not a great game, although his team did eventually win 8-3. So I guess that's okay, but not great. The bullpen hasn't necessarily been amazing. The offense has been terrible. They're the worst batting average team and worst on-base percentage team in Major League Baseball right now. So they've got work to do here as they go on the road to take on these Kansas City Royals, who just won 2 out of 3 against the Baltimore Orioles for the first series win of their season. They come into this one not necessarily playing their best ball, I wouldn't think, but decent stuff. I mean, they scored 4, 1, and 8 runs respectively there against Baltimore. That's not too bad. And they're handing the ball to Mike Lorenzen, somebody who's hoping to have a little bit of a bounce back after a rough opener to his season. He went 5 1/3 there against the Milwaukee Brewers. Gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them were earned. He did give up a home run in that game as well. Struck out 7 and walked 3. This is somebody that they would really, really like to see have a decent season. Is he going to be able to do it? We'll see. ERA north of 5 is not what they have in mind here, though. Clearly, the Royals' offense not off to as hot of a start as they would have liked. They're actually below average in the MLB right now, and this is a team that's going to need to put up some runs if they want to have success overall this season. So we'll see how that goes. 18th in the majors in runs scored, probably not going to get the job done. The Royals come into this game as the favorites, minus 125. The Twins are plus 106. We've got a total of 8.5. Minnesota 2-4 on the road in this game, in this season, 5-2-2 to the over. Kansas City 3-3 at home, 5-4 to the over themselves. Do I want to take over in this game? Over 8.5, so we got to get to 9 total runs between these two offenses. I don't think I'm interested in that. I would maybe lean towards the under, if anything. I also think this is an okay spot to take the Royals at minus 125. Neither team's really hitting the cover off the ball, though. I'm just not very happy with what I'm seeing from Simeon Woods Richardson here in the early going. So give me the Royals here as a small lean. What's up, guys? We're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Rangers come into this game 8-2 on the season, off to a fantastic start. They just swept the Tampa Bay Rays, winning 4-3, 6-4, and 5-2. So relatively competitive games, but they do come out on the good side of all of them. We saw Heim walk-off single in the 9th inning to get the Rangers that win in Game 3. So very good stuff there. They're hitting the ball in this one to Nathan Eovaldi, who's 1-0 on the season, a 1.20 ERA. It's his 3rd start overall, but we do have some concerns here, guys, because he's coming off a complete game win there against Cincinnati Reds, where he went all 9 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, and struck out 8. He walked 0, but letting a guy out there for a full game here in the early part of the season is a little bit concerning. Obviously, he is a very much a veteran guy out there. We'll see if this has any negative effects on him coming into this game, though. I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm not too worried about the Rangers' bullpen, and I'm not super pumped about their offense, though. They're second to last in batting average, second to last in on-base percentage. Just not a team that's been hitting the ball particularly well, although some timely hitting against Tampa Bay was very nice, and they did break, they scored 11, 15 runs over 3 games. Like, that's not bad. So maybe they're headed in the right direction here as they take on the Chicago Cubs, who are 7-5 on the season, fresh off of winning 2 out of 3 there against the Padres. Justin Turner's error there, allowing Fernando Tatis to score the go-ahead run for the Padres in that win in Game 3. Probably feels pretty freaking bad, guys, but overall they're off to a good start, so I don't think they should be all that upset. They're giving the ball in this one to Justin Steele, who's going to be making his 3rd start of the year. That's counting his terrible start there against the Dodgers to open the season. Since then, though, and just kind of overall, it hasn't not been smooth sailing. The Cubs have won 2 out of his 3 starts, but he's given up 5, 3, and 4 earned runs, respectively. He gave up 7 hits in 6 2/3 innings and 4 earned runs and 2 home runs there against the A's. I don't know, guys. This dude has given up at least 1 home run, or he's given up 2 home runs in 2 out of his 3 starts and 1 home run in the other one. Like, not a great start for Justin Steele. The Cubs bullpen, we'll see what we get out of them here in the early goings. Try not to overreact to anything super early about the bullpen stuff. The offense is looking good. They're second in the majors in runs scored, 6th in on-base percentage. Kyle Tucker's off to a good start. No doubt about that. Dude is hitting the cover off the ball, but how much faith do we have in the Chicago Cubs right now? They're minus 125 in this game. We've got a total of 6. Texas 2-1 on the road, 8-2 to the under. Chicago 2-1 at home, 8-3-1 to the over. This is such a small number. Maybe I lean a bit towards the over, but the weather in Wrigley Field can be very big impact on the game here. The Rangers at plus 105 would be looking great if Eovaldi wasn't coming off of that complete game start, which makes me nervous. So maybe just a little bit of a shade towards the over in this game, but overall more of a stay away spot for me. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Orioles are fresh off of losing 2 out of 3 there against the Kansas City Royals, so that probably doesn't feel great. They're 4-6 on the season, not the start they had envisioned. They're giving the ball in this game to Zach Eflin. He comes into this game 1-1, a 3.75 ERA. Fresh off of a mediocre start there against Boston. He got off to a good start to his season, dominating the Toronto Blue Jays. Maybe not dominating, but 2 earned runs over 6 innings isn't bad, but 8 hits over 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and a home run against Boston, and a 3-0 loss there for the Orioles. Probably isn't the look they were going for. This team has not gotten off to the start they would have wanted to at the plate necessarily. I mean, their numbers aren't bad, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them come in these big blowout games. Like Cui put up 12 and 9 runs respectively in a couple games there against Toronto. That's really boosting your numbers right now. So we'll see what they can do. They scored 8 runs in one game against the Royals, but only a combined 3 runs in the other 2. So definitely an offense that can do much better. Will they do much better here against Arizona? We'll see. The Diamondbacks just lost 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. Not something I had on my bingo card. 5-5 on the year, maybe not the worst start. They're giving the ball to Zach Gallen. He's a tale of 2 starts so far this year. He got shelled by the Chicago Cubs in his opening start to the season, and then was just absolutely dealing out there against the Yankees. 13 strikeouts, 6 2/3 innings pitched in that game. Gave up 3 hits, and that was it. Dude was dealing out there. So we'll see if he's got another good start in him. Obviously going up against a very potent offensive lineup. We'll see if the bullpen can hold up here for this Diamondbacks team. We'll see if the offense can continue. I mean, they're putting up runs, guys. They're 3rd in the MLB in run scores. So maybe they can, pop off a little bit here against Zach Eflin. We'll see what happens. Baltimore plus 100, Arizona minus 120. We've got a total of 8.5. Baltimore 3-4 on the road, but 7-3 to the over. Arizona 2-2 at home, 6-3-1 to the over. I'm going to be taking the Diamondbacks at home in this one. I don't really trust the Orioles right now. And to be honest, I don't trust any team a ton, but I don't trust the Orioles more. So give me the Diamondbacks at minus 120 with their best pitcher on the mound. Seems like reasonable value. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Astros 4-5 on the season, but they did just win 2 out of 3 there against Minnesota. A pretty solid series, winning the last game there 9-7 in extras. Probably feels pretty good. 4-5, a better start than they had last season at least. They're going to be giving the ball in this one to Hayden Wesneski. He's 0-1 to start the year, a 5.40 ERA, all acquired during a 5-inning start there against San Francisco Giants, where he gave up 2 hits, but 3 earned runs and a home run. He walked 3 and struck out 6. So you kind of scrub away that 1 home run mistake, and then all of a sudden it looks like a very good start, but not getting a lot of offensive support puts him in line there for the loss for sure. So we'll see if he can do a little bit better out there. See if the Astros can give him some more run support. Jose Altuve off to a very nice start, but the Astros in general not getting runs across the plate, guys. 29th in the majors, second to last in the majors in runs scored, dead last in slugging percentage. This has been a slog here to start the year for the Astros at the plate. So we'll see if they can get back on track against Seattle Mariners, who are 3-7 on the year. They just got swept there at San Francisco, losing a very close game to finish things off, but getting blown out 4-1 in Game 2, and losing a 1-run game there at San Francisco in Game 1 of that series. So we'll see what they can do. Robles probably going to be out. Definitely messed his shoulder up pretty bad on that catch, so we'll see how long he ends up being out, but he's definitely not playing in this game. The Mariners handing the ball in this game to Logan Gilbert, who's 0-1 with a 3.00 ERA, making his 3rd start of the year. First one, dominant stuff there against the Athletics. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. But against Detroit, his second time out, not quite as good. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. He did strike out 10. Bro gets those strikeout numbers, but I don't know, not as dominant out there in his second start. So we'll see if he can bounce back, see if the bullpen can hold things together, see if they can come with some offense, which hasn't been quite as bad as last season, but still has been pretty freaking terrible, guys. They're fifth worst in the majors in runs scored. So definitely lots of room for improvement there. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Mariners are minus 165. The Astros are plus 140. We've got a total of 7 out there. Houston 2-1 on the road, 5-3-1 to the under. Seattle 3-4 at home, 6-3-1 to the under themselves. I like under 7 in this game quite a bit, guys. I don't think we're going to see very many runs scored out there in Seattle. Neither team's hitting the ball well. Both pitchers are pretty decent. I expect Logan Gilbert to have a very good start. So you could even take the Mariners at minus 165, but that's not a price that interests me. I would much rather just be on that under. Games at Seattle were historically very, very good towards the under last year. Next up, guys, we have the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Reds come into this game 3-7 on the season. They just lost 3 out of 4 there against the Milwaukee Brewers, and things are immediately bottoming out here for the Cincinnati Reds, off to a pretty terrible start to their year. They're giving the ball to Hunter Green, hoping he can turn things around for them. Although Bro has gotten off to a pretty decent start to his season, and the team has lost both of his starts. He got off to a great start there against the Giants. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, a 6-4 loss there for the Reds. And then against the Rangers, things really got bad. He went 7 innings, gave 3 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 8, walked 1, and his team lost 1-0. So not a whole lot you can do about that if you're Hunter Green. Bro's throwing the ball really, really well out there. The bullpen's not even looking terrible for the Reds, and they just managed to lose these games because their offense has been terrible. 23rd in batting average, 27th in on-base percentage. Not a lot of positives to point to. Nobody off to a particularly great start. This team is floundering at the plate once again. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Giants, who are off to a blistering start. They've actually won their last 7 games in a row now. Crazy stuff. Swept Seattle, swept Houston, won 2 out of 3 there against Cincinnati, and now they get to take on Cincinnati again. So we'll see how that goes. They're going to be handing the ball in this one to Logan Webb, who's 1-0 to start the year, a 3.00 ERA. All 3 of those he gave up 3 earned runs over 5 innings on 6 hits against the Cincinnati Reds back on the 27th of last month. So he's going to be hoping to have a start similar to what he did against Houston only 5 days ago back on the 1st. He went 7 innings, gave it 5 hits, only a single earned run, struck out 6, and walked 0. So a very good outing there. Will he be able to do that against the Reds this time? We'll see. We've seen some very good stuff from the Giants at the plate. 7th in the majors in runs scored, top 10 in slugging percentage, batting .241 as a team, which is respectable. Jung-Hoo Lee off to a very good start to his year. Wilmer Flores, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs already. This team is hitting the ball well, and that's why they're minus 140 in this game. We've got a total of 7. The Reds are plus 120. Cincinnati 1-3 on the road. San Francisco 3-0 at home, 6-3 to the over. I like the San Francisco Giants here a good amount, or I would if it wasn't for Hunter Green on the mound. That's a problem. Both these pitchers are throwing the ball well. I wouldn't hate taking under 7 in this game either. I'm going to slightly lean towards the Giants, slightly lean towards the under, but not a game where I see a lot of value. Next up, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Sacramento, Athletics. The Padres 8-2 to start the season, off to a very good start, but they did just lose 2 out of 3 there against the Cubs. So not their best look. They did benefit from an error there late in that game against the Cubs to eventually win. But, those kind of chances are going to happen over the course of the season in Major League Baseball. You just got to be alert enough to take advantage of them. Michael King, 1-0 to start the season, a 3.52 ERA. He's going to be making the start for the Padres in this game, and they've won both the games he started this season. He's gotten 7 runs of support in each one. First one against Atlanta, not the best start. 2 3/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a home run, walked 4 and struck out 3. But against Cleveland, Bro was dominant. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, 1 walk, struck out 11, and a 7-0 win. So Michael King definitely seems like he's on track here. We'll see if the offense can pretty much just continue what it's doing. I mean, they're 3rd in batting average, 7th in on-base percentage, 11th in runs scored. We've seen guys like Jackson Merrill get off to a great start. He's hitting the cover off the ball. And just in general, this isn't a team that we feel bad about at the plate. So we'll see if they can keep doing their thing here against the Athletics, who come into this game fresh off winning 2 out of 3 there against the Colorado Rockies. That'd feel good. Probably playing in the snow might not have felt quite so good. Now in Sacramento, you would hope they will have escaped that snow. They're handing the ball to Luis Severino, who's 0-1 on the season, a 3.75 ERA. His second start of the year, nothing like his first start. First start, he dominated Seattle. Second start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them were earned, 2 home runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. So against the Cubs, that's not great numbers. Not great numbers. So they're hoping this veteran can kind of, get back on track in this one. Obviously, the Athletics, not a team with a ton of aspirations this season. They're middle of the road in most of their hitting numbers. We've seen, Brent Rooker get off to a decent start, I suppose, but this is not a team that's exactly killing it out there. And the Padres are minus 140 here. The Athletics are plus 120. We've got a total of 8.5. Padres 1-2 on the road, 5-4-1 to the under. The Athletics 0-3 at home, 5-3-2 to the over. This is kind of a pick your own adventure situation. I don't really trust the A's enough to, not be on the Padres in this game, basically. So minus 140 doesn't seem like the most appealing number in the world, but I do think it's the side you want to be on if you want to be on this game. Now, guys, hopping over for a quick look at the NCAA Basketball National Championship game between the number 1 Florida Gators and the number 1 Houston Cougars. Florida made it here, guys. Pretty wild stuff down the stretch. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're seeing just magic constantly from Walter Clayton Jr. And the end of these NCAA games is pretty tough to watch. But we'll see. We'll see what they can do. I mean, a tough trip to the Final Four, to the all the way here to the championship game. Beating Norfolk State, beating UConn in a close one, blowing out Maryland, blowing out Texas Tech. Well, not blowing out Texas Tech, actually. A close game against Texas Tech, and then that nail-biter against Auburn, where they do eventually get the win and cover for us. So thank you, Florida. That was a premium pick over at Stump the Spread. We also mentioned it in the video. It just didn't go in the pinned comment. Very good stuff there from Florida. Love what we've seen from Walter Clayton Jr. This team can defend. This team can score. Can they execute stuff down the stretch in crunch time at the end of games? Feels like nobody in college basketball can do that anymore. It ends up being a football game at the end of the game, and just crazy stuff happens, and dudes get open randomly and finally make a shot. So we'll see. We'll see who makes the most shots in this game. It could be a little bit tough for Florida to do their end of the game kind of thing here against the Houston Cougars, one of the toughest defensive teams in recent memory. They managed to really mess things up there for Duke at the end of that game. Made it really messy. They forced Duke into some mistakes, or maybe Duke gets some bad calls. Regardless, guys, the Cougars come away with the 70-67 win. That was after they blew out Tennessee to get to the Final Four. They had a close game against Purdue, a close game against Gonzaga, and then blew out in the opening round. But against Duke, they played really well and then, made more plays than Duke there at the end of the game. Houston outscored Duke 42-33 in the second half. So pretty crazy stuff. The Cougars shot 45% from 3 in that game. Did a good job on the boards, a dominant job on the boards, to be honest. And I think we could see something similar in this matchup against Florida. The spread here, the Cougars are getting 1 point. We've got a total of 141.5. Florida 28-11 against the spread this year, 21-18 to the over. Houston 21-17-1 against the spread, 22-15-2 to the under. I think we're going to see the officials kind of let them go in this one. Kind of let a lot go. It's a championship game. They're not going to want to be the ones that decide who wins the NCAA championship. The NCAA is not going to want all the flack from the refs being the ones that decide the championship. So I like the under 141.5 in this game quite a bit. I think we're going to see very physical play and some kind of limited offensive production. And I think we're going to see the Houston Cougars come out with a win here and be our national champions. And they're getting a free point, so go ahead and take that and give me the Houston Cougars. That's all the games we have for today, guys. I don't know if you could tell from my voice, but I am very under the weather. This video almost did not happen, so do me a big favor. Hit that like button as appreciation for me doing this. Super sick. Good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. Click the link in the description. Get over to stumpthespread.com for sure. Get over there. Get on that free email list. Bro, sending out NASCAR picks, and normal picks too, like an MLB pick, a NASCAR pick. Just crazy information there for you for free every single day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.